talking about confirming the next step, is it okay to leave the next step with them, or should it be something, the next step be some action I could take? Like, I'm going to follow up in 3 days and call you, or something like that.
So being in sales and being in a job interview, a little bit different, but not much. So yes and no. It really depends on the situation. That's where, when you've built a little bit of a relationship with the person that you're interviewing with, ask the question, what's the best way for me to follow back up with you? Should I call you in a couple of days? Like, when will I hear back from you? What's the next step? Get it really clear. Would you be okay if I just touch base with you next week to see where you are in the process? I tend to be very forward, but I'm also in sales and I've been doing this for a very long time. And I always feel that the worst thing they can say is no. And if they were already going to say no, then there was nothing lost. But there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to say yes. So I go for the 50% yes instead of the 50% no, and put myself out there. So I would definitely ask, what's the next step? What do I need to do to get to the next step? And, you might also ask them, where do I fit in here? How do you feel I qualify for this particular position? Because you don't want to keep moving forward with something if they don't think you're a good fit for it either. And that's where we talk about objections, right? So if they might not, right? So if they come up and say, well, I'm not really sure you're the right person for the job because, and I would say, could you tell me why? And they would tell you why. Oh, well, maybe I misunderstood you, but would you mind if I just told you? Because sometimes objections means you didn't give them all the information. Oh, if that's what you're looking for, let me give you a couple examples on how I could actually do that. If I could show you that, would you change your mind and put me back in as an opportunity for this particular position? So a lot of times it's a little bit of a game, right? It's about making sure what you heard is what they said, but making sure you're asking the question so that you can then respond to it. But objections come up all the time. So you have to know that if you can get them to tell you what it is, then you have an opportunity to overcome it. And especially if you have the skill set and they just didn't ask you the question. I'm serious. I've been in some interviews where I just couldn't believe the person was doing the interviewing. I'm not sure where they found their interview questions, but they weren't very good at it. So sometimes you're just going to have to take the ball and run with it, and then show them how confident you are to actually be able to be qualified for that job.